Philon, the freshman who was so good in the quarterfinal win yesterday over Kentucky. The assist on the basket by Grant Nelson.
Boy, how about that in the SEC, maybe in the country that Florida has.
And another one coming off the bench, Thomas Houck, who's a great passer as well. Nelson left alone, and he'll knock it down. The grad transfer.
And went to the ball, left Clayton wide open.
Clayton, as is Sears, a finalist, 1 of 5 for the Cousy Award as the best point guard in the nation. Martin. And look,
is a budding star.
Yeah, he is getting better by the game. Was the player of the game for Alabama in the win over Kentucky last night. Grant Nelson. And he'll return the favor with a dunk at the other end.
And Condon screened off the help defense again.
Nelson with the running reverse.
My neck hurts.
Sears. Deflected by Richard, caught by Youngblood. Sears now the step in and kick. Nelson again. Martin tips it, and Richards got it for the Gators.
Flagrant 2.
So 2 on Chinyelu, 2 on Condon, and 2 on Hanlockton. The floater no for Nelson, and it's down to Houck. Nelson.
Good. Alabama wants to race this ball up and down the floor and wear Kentucky down. No point guard, no Jackson Robinson. And Alabama wants to have as many possessions as you can have tonight. Alabama just was. You've got to shrink the court and play a 4-man zone until Amori gets back in the play.
They didn't do that. Nelson, tough shot over Williams. Nelson, they will give him that shot, and they will pay for that shot.
I know he's 25% off.
This is an energy and effort game today for Alabama. They did not have it the last couple of games. Nate Oates has been on his guys about that part. Oh, what a play. Nelson got Broome in the air, and that should count on basketball with over 2,500 points and 1,500 rebounds. Just a monster career for Broome. Nelson, oh, he had a dunk, and he missed it.
He missed the dunk. He missed the bird. Oh, he had to Wimp Sanderson years ago. Wimp, you don't remember Wimp?
I remember Wimp and his sport coach. Of course I do. There's Nelson all the way to the rack. Really good action by Alabama. Just a little boomerang pass up. Going to his right. Nelson will take it. He's really struggled. He's come down as far as his career and more for Johni Broome. Again, though, excuse me, it's off that flex cut. No one in college ball. Nelson, oh my goodness, with some noise. Wow. Nelson's having a monster game. He's got 8 points.
He's done a great job.
He wants to do it again.
Guy Patino has too.
One. Had it go off his foot. Sears picks it up. 10 of your time on the shot clock. Nelson. Yes, that's a rare 3 for him from the corner. He got ball screen defense today. You can't be low. You got to be high against both teams to take away shooters. Nelson, is he feeling it? Yes, he is. What a first half for Grant Nelson. He's got final day of the regular season. Yeah, and you look at that women's bracket right now. Those 1 seeds, Texas, USC, UCLA, and South Carolina. All 4 of those teams could win.
It's quiet here today.
Heavy Auburn has only allowed Alabama to get off 9 3-point shots. They averaged 28 attempts. Again, they're sending the message, if you can make enough tough twos to beat us, so decides enough how important CBM is to Auburn. Because of everything that he does, that time as a passer.
I really like that kid, Chad. He's really terrific. You're right, Jimmy. He's for real. Very important player. Know how to get the most out of their players.
Here comes Sears. Nelson will launch one. Oh, Grant Nelson hasn't hit one in a while. 25% else maybe make a play. Miles Kelly got him now as Nelson penetrates against Broome. They'll go with the jumper. Oh, and Grant Nelson have another big 2. He's got 21. Again, they don't. Pettiford shot. They have shut off Sears. Nelson, that's blocked by Broome, but it ends up with the dunker again, Amori. He has one no good. He'll get it back, though. Philon will fire. No. Look at Nelson. Oh, wow.
What
Grant
a play.
Nelson.
Talk about an offensive.
Phylon will inbound underneath to a wide open Nelson with good position.
So concerned. Defensive player of the year, and that could have some effect on second apron.
Nelson goes to the left hand, came up short. And it's Florida ball looking to retake the
Athletic Conference player of the year. In his last 3 games, he's 10 of 18 from 3. He's been knocking them down.
lob for Nelson, broken up, but cleaning it up inside is Phylon with the basket. You saw out, and the rebound by Nelson.
Alabama's help side defense has been very active on those back cuts when they're top blocking.
What a great drive and finish by Nelson. Holloway with the find, and it's a
shot goes up. That's when the fight begins.
They got 7 offensive rebounds. Back within 2. Lob. Nelson has it blocked. What a play by Condon. And now Richard in the open floor. Gets another 23 years ago. Both teams at 12-4 in league play, tied for second. Auburn has already clinched the #1 seed. Looked like a foul on the shot by Nelson. Instead, Martin with the slip.
You can't grab it, tip it out so a teammate can get it.
Phylon lob, and Nelson met at the rim again, but that time didn't go up with a shot. He just came down with a ball and then scores to make it a 4.
That so badly, he had the easy lane to go get it.
+7 offensive rebounds for Florida. Line drive 3, not there for Nelson. And it's a 1 and done for the Crimson as well. Battle tested. They've had some big wins on the road this year and trying to get another one. Up 12. Nelson spinning and scoring. Gets it back to a 10-point game. At some point, can Alabama make some Diabate? What a wild shot by Youngblood. Wouldn't fall. The tip won't go either. Another chance. Bodies hit the floor.
11-point performance, and Mark Sears is playing at another level. Phylon, good kick. Nelson, no, and he's been reluctant to shoot that 3 lately.
They made 22.
Back for a 3 and didn't get a chance to take it with Gainey with a hand up. Alley-oop, Nelson, no good.
Good job by Tennessee to put traffic around Nelson.
I love that guy. They got everything about him. He has 829 wins. He gets one more, he catches John Calipari.
There's a play out of the break, and that worked beautifully. An alley-oop maybe to start Nelson.
Run last year to the Final Four.
He's got it again, trying to get busy in the paint. Yeah, he's now got 4.
Smart, smart.
No doubt, because there was a mismatch.
Yep. 12 points off turnovers, said that is unacceptable, cannot happen in this second half.
Tell you, Molly, when you think about Ziegler, I thought maybe a little.
He said Sears has become the best teammate on this club as well. As Phylon finds Nelson, that shot, he's not shooting it with confidence off to the left.
25% three-point. Gainey, and then to challenge without fouling. Big time play by Nelson in crunch time.
Nelson was hurt 30 seconds ago. He made 2 free throws, came up with a block. Out of bounds, it'll stay with the Crimson.
Will do the ball handling. Youngblood, Nelson, and Omori up front. Nelson, baseline. He lost it on the way up. He's struggling a little bit lately. His Grant Nelson
report. That's Cam Matthews. He sets the spirit, the personality, the vibe of this Mississippi State.
Holloway into the game. Nelson's corner 3, too strong. Good box out from Matthews.
Yeah, to my point about Hubbard getting ready to check back in. You just got to have offense.
Nelson, no, and you can tell, Jimmy, you made that point. A little hesitant with his 3-point shooting, and he's sample of it with Holloway's dribble. And then the dish to Sears. Watch it. Bam! They're playing well. They're having fun. They're passing that back. Championship. And they still have an outside shot to catch Auburn. Florida losing tonight. Nelson to the hole. That's what he does when he's right. And then back into that 2-3 zone. Nelson reverse, pretty play.
Those are the kind of plays he got hot with in March last year. He was a key.
Well, you lose 2 starting players who are injured. Both Butler and Robinson are outstanding veteran players.
No doubt about it. Second half of our Sonic blockbuster matchup. Creators on the floor now. 3 of them with Phylon, Holloway, and Sears. Aiden Holloway, alley-oop, no, Nelson can't get it to go.
Boy, Nelson not having a chance before we sell out. V.org/Vital Raffle. V.org/Vital Raffle. I need a Crimson Tide fan. Credit to Alabama. But also, when you look at Kentucky, they're 7-1 against top 15 teams.
Nelson, yes, that's what they need. No resistance.
And they're 7-1.
A half of both teams.
And so one of the keys of Missouri on the defensive end is the physicality of their backcourt. They get a lot of steals, they're physical, they grab and hold and do a lot of things. Terrific pass to Nelson inside.
Mo Diabate into the game. Great feed. It's Nelson. Count the basket.
Always keep an eye defensively, Kevin. Missouri swept.
The steal or the knockaway. Active hands. He is everywhere.
Sophomore, top 35 of the nation in steals. That pass was tipped, or pardon me, you can count that basket.
By Grant Nelson.
Shots up and
Get to that free throw line. Get in your rhythm. Take your 2 bounces to shoot the ball.
He had a nice bounce back performance in the Georgia win Saturday. Pierce has been a very reliable starter all year long. Tigers in control, playing really well. Gray blocks that one at the rim. Toss back out, shot clock. Yep.
Had a couple of hard falls. Hurt his shoulder a little bit at practice yesterday. He is on the bench. He did go through warm-ups, but it's Moore getting the start. Win at Vandy has come to take the place of Dylan Cardwell. Johnson went 9 for 10 at 20 points in the game. Alabama still can't get one to go, but Grant Nelson runs it down.
Cardwell is not going to draw defenders out to that three-point line. Chaney Johnson will.
Diabate, full head of steam. The follow by Nelson, but wave it off. Basket interference.
Johnson has had an impact on this game since he's been in off the bench.
And now he stays in front of Sears on the drive. Little Euro step by Grant Nelson will go.
Nelson has to be played at...
Oh, no good. And Auburn misses an opportunity in transition.
Alabama very fortunate.
Nelson can't get it to go.
I think he thought he was going to get contact from Broome, and shooters in the country. Great switch on that wide pin down by Auburn.
Nelson the cut. Amori found him. Nelson left hand. And Broome down with it for Auburn.
Well, he really blocked
a ball.
Awfully difficult shot by Chaney Johnson.
If they go quickly, they can go 2 for 1 here. Looks like Nelson's thinking about it off the side of the backboard, though.
I don't think you want to go too quickly where you're taking a bad.
It was his 5th.
Well, he's their leading assist guy anyway. Yep. Such a good passer.
Nelson got it back. Got blocked by Baker Mazzara. Out of bounds. Alabama ball. And not moving well. Getting back on D. But he comes up with a block. The ball is loose and Nelson slams it and ties it. And
complex of this game.
And Jay, his shoe is off. He is sitting on the bench, not getting any treatment or anything right now, but not wearing his left shoe. And it's down to Denver Jones. So it is still an 8-point game. Nelson driving, and that's a goaltending call. Count the basket.
Right.
And the same could happen in the SEC tournament, but the point is, I mean, just an incredible number of teams that can go a long, long way in the NCAA tournament will be Congress.
Segment that just goes south on them, and they're kind of in the middle of one right now, to your point.
Nelson wrapped up, loose ball, picked it up and put it in.
They have been the tougher team without time that we have to maneuver through. And we can't be looking at hole number 12, which is Auburn, when we have to play hole number 11 right now, Texas.
Yeah, we'll look at that schedule a little later, but how about Sears? He did a lot of dribbling there, but if
the side and allowed him to get into that side slide 3-point shots, he's just a tough cover is all it is.
Sears, Nelson too short, and Texas did a good job with Shedrick boxing out. Sears, that's right, kicks it back, and Holloway, no good. Nelson had it, he was off balance.
Youngblood, who's shooting lights out over the last couple of games, 9 for his last 13 from D. Nelson shoves his way inside.
Well, this will be a physical ball game. Both teams are really good. At Walton Arena on a night like tonight, Tom, you can feel the crowd as the opponent, not just hear it.
Nelson, fancy move. He's got 6 of Bama's 8.
Nelson is so good.
He's kind of like a prize fighter. He feels the opponent out in the early rounds.
Yeah.
Nelson tees one up. And on 50% shooting, a couple of offensive rebounds to help him out. Sears finds Nelson. Beautiful pass, and Nelson takes it off the window.
Grant Nelson is terrific as a cutter.
Out of there with it. Libera Philon pushing the pace. Holloway whips it inside, and Nelson with the reverse.
You have to get matched up against Alabama in transition.
Bud Walton. Nelson. No! He visits the board. Playing hurt. Sears penetrates. Got Ivica off balance. Youngblood fires a 3. It's an air ball, but an offensive putback for Nelson.
Man, those air balls, they're just a 50-50 chance.
Nelson rims out a 3.
For Alabama. Now that's a tough thing to do as Alabama runs not only for the layups, they run to the three-point line.
Nelson, no. There's that offensive rebound from Amori. Just the second field. There's LeBaron Philon. Good to see him into the game. Was a game-time decision. Dealing with an ankle/foot injury as Nelson puts it in off the window.
That's beautiful poise right there.
Against the Bama team that shot 44% from the floor. Nelson from downtown. Finally get it into Nelson. Bama in the midst of a 2-minute scoring drought plus. Montgomery went flying, no whistle, and back the other way we go.
Another stop for the Bulls. A good start to the second half.
Sears to Nelson. Oh, that's great footwork by the second-year transfer from North Dakota State.
And good recognition to space. It's a lot of physicality on both of these teams on the finishes around the basket.
Nelson, there you go, taking advantage of the foul trouble on 8-3. Remember, they had 15 made threes in their latest win coming into the weekend. And right on cue, Nelson from downtown. Great feed, Amori to Nelson, sent away by Santos Surreal. He wants some.
People had questioned his shooting percentage coming into the game. 3 ball all the way, off the mark, tipped around, and it's going to be Mississippi State ball.
Second half in the last game.
We will have much more on that story as this game goes on and how Nate Oates and Mark Sears have moved on. And Nelson with the power slam.
Beautiful dime there by Marks.
Nelson from the corner, his 3 too strong, but the backside rebound goes to Youngblood.
Reed lifting and laid it up with the right hand before the shot blocker was able to get there.
Sears in close and a nice assist as he finds Nelson for 2 more.
Mark Sears is doing a tremendous job. Great job right there by Josh Hubbard. He's missed his last few 3-pointers because he was rushed. He uses the pump fake and frees himself up.
Mark Sears has got that vision working tonight with Grant.
That's 1 minute and 46 seconds. It's going to be important to string together some quality possessions for both teams moving into the half.
1 of 2. Nelson trying to bat it around. And that's Mississippi pride
is starting to show.
Pick and roll with Nelson rolling to the rim and 1.
Now that is tough.
We start the second half. It is Alabama with the ball. Nelson inside. He had a strong first half, and he gets the scoring started in the second. He now has 11.
The hustle points, rim protecting as a weak side defender. He will have to play big in the second half.
Nelson finds that 3-point line off the mark. Amori with the backside board, and it's stripped away by Harris. Sears will trying to work his way to the ball, but Hubbard is guarding it close. Nelson will fire.
You know, as a height, the adjustments have been made, and who can make tough shots in tough moments.
Nelson had it tipped, almost went in off Mississippi State, and cleaning it up is Diabate. Nelson, they're giving it to him. He says, thank you very much. Alabama up 3.
I understand that's a sky.
I know he's an offensive guy, but this gives you a little idea of his size, length, and explosiveness.
And Nelson with his first basket on the other end.
He's got 3 assists. However, I just thought maybe his decision-making, when to score, when to pass, wasn't there.
Well, they're going to go to Nelson. The team's second leading scorer had 4. Plays it in, tied again.
Good decision. Got caught in the bigger and slower Grant Nelson. Omari and Nelson, creative.
Nelson working against Trey'Dez Green. Took the freshman right to the basket. In his first 3 of the game. Philon to Nelson. He's wide open. Got it! Alabama shooting 51%. Blocked.
Wow.
What a block by Collins.
He covers so.
Almost whiffed on the pass. Nelson now. Nelson trying to back up. Chest won't go, and Chest with another rebound. That's number 18 for the big fella.
Alabama have multiple good decision makers and ball handlers.
Diabate in traffic to Nelson, and that one is blocked by Chest. Still some, and maybe some sort of contact from that moment was lingering, so he takes a seat. Nelson goes to work. Grant Nelson. It's a 20-4. He has gotten open. His teammates have found him. 58% shooting for the Tide in this first half, and so the percentage, well, I was going to say it was going to go up there. Nelson
For this point differential here in the second half.
The staff has always referred to Diabate as someone who plays with extreme effort and intensity. Great toughness.
14-point game. Coming up on the 6-minute mark, second half. There's the lob. Grant Nelson cleared for takeoff.
That
was way offline with that one. 2 to play.
Vanderbilt is penetrating with the intent to pick out to their outside as Grant Nelson is able to clean up a miss from Sears. They're getting there through all the foul, get to the free throw line, and try to ice the game.
Oh, home run pass here. Touchdown, Grant Nelson. One more highlight.
He wants to see effort and intensity.
Well, he saw that against Texas A&M. They out-rebounded the Aggies at 21 offensive rebounds. They only had 3 offensive boards against Ole Miss.
Amari Williams with a rejection on them to take a lot of threes, but they're not making a very good percentage this year. He does feel it is going to improve over time. Here's Nelson. An air ball, a couple of feet over the basket. Sears, boy, what a matchup that is. As good as Sears is offensively and as good as Butler is defensively. Nelson's going to try another one and hit it. And that will quiet the crowd. Owe no, and Amori clears the glass.
Big time rebound by Cliff Amori.
4 years at Rutgers, rebounder, shot blocker. Nelson the drive and the finish. It's an 8-0 run for Alabama.
But a great defensive sequence by Cliff Amori. Guarded the pass, then guarded the cutter, and then got back to put pressure on the shot.
Boy, oh boy, Grant Nelson airballs the first and drains the next. And shoots it incredibly well here at home this year. Sears. Great cut by Nelson and a great find by Sears.
Sears is so good.
By Amari Williams, nowhere to go for Stevenson. Now Nelson is off to a hot start today. It rattles out, and Williams down with the rebound.
If you go under any...
Philon gets a good look from the wing. Tipped up and in, counted, and a foul, and Nelson going to the line.
Boy, this is the Alabama. Well, that is 2 tough guards going against one another, Butler and Sears.
Nelson, short again. He's got some makes, he's got some air.
Screen for the screener action, well read by Kentucky.
Nelson. Boy, that's a strong move. Banging Williams a bit to get a little space. 21 now for Oweh. Nelson a miss. Williams the rebound. Robinson wasn't. Philon takes a bump from Butler. Nelson up and counting.
Did you see how Nelson took that like a running back going through those?
It up. Tip by Williams won't go. And it belongs to the tie. Youngblood headed blocked by Brea. Sears has it though for Alabama.
Matched up with Dia. Nelson into Dia this time. It was just a switch fest. Whoa, how did he get free? Nelson turned the corner and dropped the hand. Rebels looking for a road win, up 5. Grant Nelson gets a high percentage look.
And that's what they want to do is on that penetration, you've got behind them. What a box that would check on the resume, as you discussed.
The lead is 9. Nelson. No. Nelson again, yes. The largest comeback win that Bama has had in the front court, getting those open threes.
Sears on the attack. They collapse on him. Shot clock inside 10. Nelson can't hit it. He'll get a second effort here.
Tommy, he was specifically talking about Diabate as one of the guys he was looking forward to stepping up here this evening.
On the attack, Nelson, and knocked away. And no whistle on the play, no foul. Out of Mobile, Alabama. Here's Nelson. Too strong. And tiptoeing out.
The defense in a predicament.
Philon will kick it. He's got Nelson open. Rebound tip. They'll get a second effort. They're doing a really good job. After a good job on him. Shot clock down to 7. Stevenson gives it up. On the drive, Nelson lost him. And then buckling down in that lane.
Great job by Manuel,
by the way. Philon gets a look. Got a really good look. Off the iron by Nelson. And another foul. In that possession. He's taking a lot of the load on himself, most of it on the offense. Here's Nelson to slam it as he comes onto the baseline quickly to jam it down.
Threes and shots at trouble.
Well, the three-pointer, a giant part of who they are, but the roll to the basket and Nelson with the stuff.
And we watched them work on that and shoot around Nate to keep the Aggies alive.
22 for him. Sears out of the double. Nelson, that didn't come anywhere near the iron.
SEC. Here's Nelson. Shot clock at 2. Nelson looking for a little bit of room. Gets the shot off and tapped around and one in there by Pringle, who gets tied up, and they're going to say
in tune to what they're supposed to be doing.
Amori to Nelson. That's off to Mark left. Stevenson there to grab the rebound.
If you're South Carolina, you want to continue locking up on defense. You don't want to get in an up and down race with Alabama. That's 2 there. See? Yeah.
Mark Sears with a nice pass to Nelson, who knows what to do with it.
Yeah, right there.
Little sloppy here. Holloway will back it out. Nelson to the rim. Reverse. Count it. Foul on Pringle.
That's Alabama basketball right there, man.
1,500 points, 200 three-pointers, and 300 assists in their Alabama career. Joining Brian Williams. Here's Nelson. Can't get it to go. And Colin Murray-Boyles with that rebound. They got to get him. Now they tie him up. Thomas forces him to get it away to Nelson. Here's Grant. Boy, does he like to take his shoulder and drive it right into a defender.
Yes, and you don't see that a lot from a guy playing the 4. They were having attention on Colin Murray-Boyles. Great pull-up by Jacoby Wright. Uh-oh.
Grant Nelson.
Once again, people make them. I'm laughing because if you look at Coach Oates, he's like, I just called the play out of timeout. What do you guys not understand?
The start of SEC play. Shot clock is at 6 inside. Grant Nelson off the mark. Looks up at the clock. It's at 2. Turnaround. And Oklahoma with the board. Really good defense. Oklahoma.
Moore returning back to his home state. He's been playing with a lot of confidence this season in his second year with the Sooners.
Nelson with that funky looking release off the mark.
What Sam Godwin does, he understands his role on this team. He does a lot of the dirty work. Here he is once again on the offensive boards.
Nelson trying to get his own miss. And a jump ball as the ball is pinned. Sears, the step back, gives it up. Instead it's Nelson with two hands. Wow. Alabama has the ball in his hands. Three ball falls for Grant Nelson.
Grant Nelson, the switch at the end of that pick and roll action, which gave him the mismatch. Godwin, with the smaller player, scores in the paint.
Nelson hesitated, but he still makes the three.
Now this is the challenge if you're Oklahoma. It makes you move. There's a split right there. There's another one.
There goes Sears, 3 seconds off his foot. Nelson has to get it up. And a shot clock violation. Philon comes to a stop. Nelson launches, nothing but nylon. 10 points now for... Nelson. And another offensive rebound as Sears. Extra passing, Nelson thought about it, on the deck, bump, no call, but he gets it to go.
That is outstanding recognition.
Grant Nelson from three.
That's a big shot there by Grant Nelson. Both teams.
Nelson with a three. Crimson Tide heating it up from beyond the arc by against Matthew Morse. Nelson fights in. He's got the first 8 for Alabama.
That's a big-time move right there. In the pace and look that Alabama sees in practice because it's not a style in which they play.
Grant Nelson, double-figure scoring already with 11.
And he's shooting it with so much confidence. Shaping up to that ball as he came from the wing and came back to the top of the key as the ball reversed over to him.
Nelson with the right-hand dunk.
This man has come to another convergence knockdown jumper on the other end for South Dakota State.
Seiler finally had some space. Alabama's had pressure defense on him. Grant Nelson keeps scoring for the tie. Lane couldn't get that to go. Nelson with a rebound. Here's Nelson. Leaving that one just short. First missed shot of the game by Grant Nelson. Friendly roll for Matthew Morris, the Wisconsin transfer. Grant Nelson scored and won.
That's a high.
There is Nelson controlling the paint, getting a rebound. Sears, the leading scorer, back out to Nelson. He'll fire up a 3 ball. Looked like a knuckleball, and it left short.
State's going to have to make some shots.
They are ice cold, 2 of 18 from the field. Strong take, no. Nelson flying in for the finish. And a timeout called for Kent State.
What the defense gives you. Well, here's a little zone, a little mix-up on defense. But can you rebound out of it?
Nelson right now is giving you
beatings on the women's side. So Alabama's only lost a 4-point loss on the road in Berkeley to Cal in the SEC ACC Challenge.
Nelson gets back after limping off the floor a couple minutes ago. Plays a little bully ball down low. Nelson returns the favor. An and one for Grant Nelson.
Capable three-point shooter, the 6'11 sophomore, this time off the mark. This is a team that does not mind to take him from deep, Sean.
No, they will take either threes or attack the rim. There's not much in between. And Grant Nelson, the Shoals, that began his college career at Ohio University in Athens before making his way back home.
Second chance opportunity for Alabama comes up begging. Stevenson, both teams going to their bench early. 4 minutes gone here in Grand Forks. Mark Sears in the tie, trying to get going. Nelson, good body control to finish.
And great strength, too, because he took a little bit of contact.
A season ago.
And he just continues to improve all aspects of his game. During the course of his career, he's gotten bigger, stronger. 3 seasons ago, he couldn't do that. Nice job of reading what the defense gave him.
He's had a couple of those looks in this first half. Open threes that just have not dropped. Eagle staff now 2 of 5 from behind the arc as Nelson gets loose.
Well, his ability.
Plenty of time on the shot clock. Sears spinning, finding Nelson for 3. There's Alabama with the basketball.
Oh,
nice find. Philon, though, cannot finish. Millette the offensive rebound. Nelson, a 2-point basket short. Another O-board from Millette. Second chance opportunities. Something North Dakota cannot allow if they want to hang in this contest. Nelson inside, able to shake and finish. Double figures now for Grant Nelson. Hours later, just on Sunday, and now facing the number 6 team in the nation. Darius Woodson, though, not giving it up just yet. A 3-point basket. Nelson right back the other way, though. Point basket. Woodson averaging just under 12 a night. Number 2 on this North Dakota team in scoring this season. No second chance opportunity this time. Zach Kraft, Sean Morris.
He had 2 made threes all year. That's his 3rd tonight.
Shooting it with confidence as Nelson starting to get downhill, starting to try and take the Youngblood. Oh, crowd wanted to travel. Nelson on the take. Grant Nelson! 17 now. 78-72, just over 6 to play. Nelson. Bama bench wanted a foul. Coolio. Nelson going to work inside. Got Woodson to bite. Grant Nelson with 19.
Nelson can stroke it from deep, but off the mark. And everything. Here's Nelson. What a quiet night for Grant Nelson, giving him 2 points a game, preseason all-conference. 6'11", fifth-year senior from Devils Lake, North.
About 16, 17, but makes contested tough shots.
I think you need an analytical intervention. I think you have way too many numbers in your head.
It is a bottomless pit.
Nelson with the rebound.
An assistant coach friend of mine was on that Minnesota staff, Ed Conroy, and that was a nervous time for that staff. You don't want to be part of the 3-on-5 line because you know what? That was just a weird way to play.
Lob, and it's broken up. Good play by Clifford Amore, the Rutgers transfer. Philon steps through, and then Nelson fails to finish. He's got 4. Got to be careful. Shot clock at 12. Sears with a burst to the baseline. Kalkbrenner bails him out. Nelson, no. Rebounded by Neal. 1 minute to play. Creighton still
back in each battle. Carolina aggressive defensively. Philon shot clock winding down. Nelson heaves it up off the mark. Trimble above feet. Washington had it spotted away. Sears up ahead. Nelson. And it's off the side of the backboard. Up and down we go.
Transition. It's electric to watch.
Good back cut Nelson and used the rim to protect himself from Withers, who was trying. Step back Nelson, and it's short. Jackson. That one off the mark. And here comes Alabama. Sears feeds Nelson. Puts it in.
Just NBA athleticism and talent.
Oh, look at Nelson inside and the flush.
I know there's a lot of talk about Cooper Flagg. Dylan Harper might be the best freshman in the country. He's been going off, but that game they had against Houston was a dogfight. They were emotionally drained. The fact that they were able to put together a string of stops.
Nelson puts it on the floor. Carolina back the other way. Powell puts it in. Up ahead, and Nelson just waiting at the other end.
Challenge sometimes. 6 transfers have come into this program trying to get back to the NCAA tournament. A point-blank miss, but a foul there by Nelson. Amori couldn't get the 28, 5.5 to go. Here's Nelson now, fires up a 3-pointer, no good. At his best. Adrian Tracy, almost a turnover. Somehow Sears got it over a teammate. And now Nelson for 3. Misses it badly. Turn in the corner, Philon. Philon drives. And that was Biddle, got a hand on that. Alabama able to recover. Nelson cuts to the basket, gets the pass and scores. And stay hot. He's got 16 now. Diabate got Cook in the air, a spin, can't finish. Ball's loose. Bamba comes out of the pack. Bamba drive. Nelson. Nelson drives. Nelson lays it in with a left hand.
I love how Nelson attacks the closeout, and it was a great improved defense this season. And you know what? Yesterday was impressive. They won an ugly game. It wasn't a high-scoring affair, but they had to grind it out as Nelson misses right at the rim. Good athlete, showing off.
He's got Mark Sears' duty defensively to start this game. And a hammer jam. Grant Nelson goes. NCAA tournament did back in 2021. They were back the next year in the first 4. NIT last year. Grant Nelson gets some space. He's taken on Martini. And Nelson able to score into that collective.
A little extra motivation.
The driving is Diabate, gives it up. Nelson open for 3. Bailey closed quickly. Offensive rebound, Diabate. On that team. And then a long drought before Steve Pico got him back in 2021. Up top for Nelson. Diabate leaves it beautifully for Grant Nelson.
Hey.
Nelson. He's got Acuff on him, a mismatch. Nelson got a lot of size on him. Takes him into the paint. A flurry of moves comes up short. Martini wrestling for the board and a jump. Sears' mom put the whammy on him right there. Saved by Diabate. Sears for 3. Too strong. Nelson offensive board. A 3rd chance for Alabama. They finally convert. Guarded by Acuff. That's a matchup Alabama wants to exploit. Oh, nice move there. Sears, but Amori lost the handle. Nelson there for the bucket and the harm. Been very efficient on the other side. Made 5 of their last 7.
Yeah, Durkat trying to guard against Nelson, giving up a lot of height.
And Nelson missed it, but the follow jam. The former Scott. Sears. Sears got Durkat on a string. Sears, no. And there is Diabate again, and Nelson misses a 3. Sears an offensive board. He is fouled. A chance to go up double figures here. Diabate drives. Diabate leaves it for Nelson. Nelson missed a bunny. Offensive rebound. Another chance. Holloway for 3. Sears kicks it to Nelson. Takes a peek. Got to go here. Shot clock at 2. Nelson puts up a prayer. Air ball. Shot clock violation. Rutgers. 20-plus points. Had a double-double in that game. Unbelievable. Step back 3 on its way. Nelson no good. Every shot contested. Every pass is with 9:04 remaining in this first half. Here's Nelson. Nelson looking for his first points. And a 3-ball goes down for the Dakota Houston run. Rockets, the Cougars come down looking like the Rockets here right now. And there's Nelson. Missed it. Traffic underneath. Let's see who they gave credit to.
He found Holloway for the open 3. So you got to be strong with the basketball and find your open teammate if you're Alabama.
Sears quick release, but he's blocked, and there is Nelson on the follow.
And I like Nelson.
JoJo Tugler wants it back. And now the 2-man game with Reed. Nelson in the corner. 3-pointer, no good. Sharp with the rebound. Holloway Holloway gives it up. Down on the baseline. That's denied. Here's Nelson. Recovers short. Tugler and Nelson, and it's going to be Houston ball.
Wide open under the basket. A little confusion defensively for Houston.
Sears back on the floor. Inside to Nelson. Shot fake. Nelson showing the skills. Fundamentals. He's got 12. Sears guarded by Wilson. Give it right back. Diabate. Nelson cutting. Oh! Tugler with a block. Diabate another board. Another chance here. Sears
trying to penetrate. And the dump off. Clifford Omori, who played against Illinois twice last season with Rutgers. Nelson for three. And we're locked up early.
But it's all about the paint touches for Alabama.
His twin brother, Big Z, played at Kentucky last year, now with John Calipari at Arkansas. Nelson sizes up another. Splash, he's got 2 threes early. Finish from Connor Boswell, Jr. from Champaign. Played a couple different high school spots. Nelson again. 3 for 3.
He has seen a really big rim in Birmingham early.
A couple of subs in for Illinois. Will Riley, the talented freshman, and Kerry Booth, both off the bench. Nelson again. Omori had his hands on it, and it was ripped away.
Illinois steps up in a weight class tonight for the first time after bye games at home. Alabama was stung by Purdue. How will they respond in this building? So far, Grant Nelson says we're going to respond in the right way.
Nice back cut. Holloway shares it. Back out to Nelson. Halfway down, didn't go.
And that was big-time offense. The
13.
He is really good. Played for the powerhouse FC Barcelona last year on their second team primarily. A ton of international experience.
Whew. Nelson slides right down the lane. You want international experience or you want
offense that's new to Illinois this year because of the personnel that Brad Underwood brought into Champaign.
Nelson from the corner. Missed his last couple. Speaking of the rig, second in the league in scoring behind Dalton Knecht last year. What's that guy up to, Knecht? Nelson banks it in.
Dalton Knecht calls up.
Haven't seen much of number 10 Diabate on the floor for Alabama. Here he is. Nelson from the corner.
At this spot, is it not? That right corner has been good to Grant Nelson.
Phylon. Wow, Nelson who finishes it up.
How about the patience of Phylon to wait for Grant Nelson to get some body blow baskets right now if you're Illinois to continue to cut into this lead.
Darian Reed out to Nelson. Short arm that one, and it's rebounded by the freshman Riley.
By Alabama all the way to the collision at the rim. To play verticality legally. Watch out.
Nelson ball fake. Ivisic is 7-1 with the rejection.
Durant's team. He's a long winner.
Skips all the way to Nelson. Puts up an air ball from the corner. I think somebody opened the door. Illinois had 14 and 14. First double-double in a debut since Dane Danger in 22. Nelson right back out.
That's it. He's made some threes in this game, but that.
Sears with it, went off against Purdue last year for 35 points. Grant Nelson. That's a good look, and Harris with the ball. Maybe some jitters here. There have been some open look off the glass. Holloway just checked in. Inside to Nelson for an easy 2.
And that's a tough spot right there. But Fletcher Loyer, if you're guarding LeBaron Phylon, you've got to be to the basket.
Nelson.
Look out. Yeah. But we got driving kicks everywhere. Purdue getting it for 3, and then on the dribble drive on the baseline.
And Nelson went up to get it. Phylon back with it. Nelson can do this. Alabama back on top.
And drawing that up, surprising to see Purdue have.
Phylon right back to Nelson and 2 more.
With some pace, Alabama getting right to that pick and roll. That weak side is emptied out.
Reitzel just hit a 3. Back to Sears. Nelson. That was offline the entire way.
Nanos did not like that shot. Grant Nelson just loaded that thing up. And who's your 4th guy? And C.J. Cox has filled that role perfectly. Oh, what a play.
Inside to Nelson and count it. He's got a double-double.
Asheville and Arkansas State, and as you have mentioned, This is not your run-of-the-mill mid-major program. Nice find. That's Jaron Stevenson.
Murray, who's gone from LSU to Georgetown, Ole Miss, now back to McNeese State, and of course Will Wade.
He sees the coach
has worked on in shoot-around. Will Wade wanted to put Clifford Amori in ball screens, and then he wanted to use slips on the offensive end in regards to Nate Oates.
Amori for DJ Richards, their most effective three-point shooter a season ago. Nelson lines it up. That's pure.
He's the difference maker.
Their soul gets cut off. Holloway wants it. Down and out. Nelson follows, and he's into double figures.
As simple as it seems.
Last year, he was a key contributor to Auburn's success a season ago. So he transfers to the in-state rival. Ooh. Nelson kept the pivot foot. Look at Amori, just a menace on the glass. Alabama's lead stretches to 6. 7:15 to go in the first. Nelson tees it up. That's good.
He's the one. He can do so much.
Led this program to so much success. Another 25-win season a year ago. Oh, look at Nelson. Wide open stuff. You know, the activity level, quality team out of the Southland, and they are within 7 against second-ranked Tide. Nelson slips once again.
How many times have we seen that tonight?
You know, this is more like the pace we expected between Nate Oates and Brian Hodson's teams. Look at Grant Nelson. Too strong.
Strong finish. Beautiful crossover. Getting to the deck.
Round for Alabama. 2 minutes left in this first half. Grant Nelson. In and out of his 3. Opportunity. Mark Sears to Nelson. Grant Nelson with a soft touch.
With this group out here on the court for Alabama, this puts tough place for teams to come in and play, especially when they get the shots going from outside.
Nelson against Julian has been quite a battle all night. Julian back to Philon. Wide open, Grant Nelson. His 3 no good. Phelps with the rebound. 5-point game. Crimson Tide just one of its last 7 from the floor. Reitzel. And another 3 before Nelson comes flying in. Wow. Won't go, and the Crimson Tide get it back. Trying to build on a 2-point lead. Grant Nelson makes it 4.
That's the move that if you're Alabama, you have to do. Get the hot. But Alabama, you would think after starting off with that 9-0 start, would be up by more than 15. With some quality possessions, they can get back into this lead.
Big rebound yanked out of there by Sherrell.
Philon. He had 21 points, 4 assists yesterday in a 29-point win over Kentucky. Florida beat Missouri in the quarters to get here. Looks sent from 3 on the season, but he's got the green light, and he seems to make them at big times.
Yeah, you don't want to let him get his feet set and dare him to shoot it.
Look at that. Look at the handle.
Just developed an incredible game. Remember, Sears only had 9 in the game, in which he ended with the buzzer beater. Brea's first 3 no good.
Alabama wants to race this ball up and down the floor, and where
the hero is Otega Oweh. Porter Moser said he's going to try to take the game over, and he did last night. They couldn't stop him.
And Alabama would like nothing better than to get Otega.
Backdoor Perry, no, and he crashes to the ground.
Bama's got numbers. All and I were, he said, it humbled me, but also made me get that fire back in my gut. And from that point on, he has been all league everything.
And they can't buy one even for a guy who's as good as Brea is at shooting the threes. Sears.
That over the ball is the most dangerous thing on the floor.
No doubt. Bounce pass down low. Johnson. Nelson holds his ground. Good job defensively. Here comes the first 10 seconds. Watch the heat that Alabama brings it with. Now Broome backs him down.
Little one-on-one play here. Then take a tough shot.
Philon, it's wide open, and he kicks for a three. Reverentially speaks of Lofton. Now Cardwell hands to Pettiford, who fires. And no good. Loose ball, and down on the ground again is Youngblood. He may have got hit in the back of the head. Points as he attempts his third free throw of the day. And the Alabama up 3 on the road. And Nate Oates told his guys before this game, no matter what.
I think he definitely stays in school. There's ain't doubt whatsoever. Size, maybe stay. Oh,
missed 2 of 3. Yeah.
2 out of 3 isn't bad. Did Meatloaf say that? 2 out of...
Only 5 as Youngblood into the paint. Working hard, fires one up. Now Philon, the freshman, all day. Too strong. Calling those plays with Mike Burgomaster in his hip pocket. Really good job by Philon, who was on the ground, to get back up and perhaps affect Pettiford's shot. Sears wants one, no good. He'll get it back though. Philon will fire, no. Look at Nelson. Oh, wow, play. Grant Nelson.
Florida ball down 2, 5 minutes to go here in the opening half. On the back cut, Klobuchar puts it up, misses in and out, and the rebound by Nelson.
Alabama's help side defense has been very active on those. The Wooden Award is going to be either Cooper Flagg of Duke or Johni Broome of Auburn.
Well, Clayton way off, tried to bank that in and missed everything. Hit the board and landed on the other side of the rim. Run, but Florida gets 4 guys back defensively. Sears on the baseline, can't connect, batted out by Nelson, and there's Philon.
You can't grab it, tip it out so a teammate can get it.
Rebounded by Houck. Richard, Condon got position underneath, and good defense by Nelson.
A ton of contact as you're trying to go up.
Sears split defensive rebound by Diabate. What a wild shot by Youngblood, wouldn't fall. The tip won't go either. Another chance. Bodies hit the
continue with the advantage. Here's Lanier. No. He's missed his last 2. He's taken 4 shots.
They want to run, baby.
His footing.
Nelson's been very quiet, like he was in the game.
Very.
And also
Yes.
against Kentucky.
Alley-oop. No, he couldn't convert it.
Did everything right, so efficient. It's like him up the empty. And he's been quiet since.
Gainey. Lanier. A little too strong.
I see that name Lanier, and it brings back great memories. Bob Lanier,
Yes,
St.
sir.
Bob right there. See, sometimes you get that one going on one basket, it gets you motivated.
Lanier, no. And he's got a little cold here lately.
And we get down with the rebound.
Nelson.
Nelson.
To prove that I am the best point guard in the country. Got it.
Oh,
man, it was there.
Yeah, bad angle right there for that shot.
It was there.
You were right. It were these.
You know who else? This little kid on the free throw line. He made a tough program tougher when he came here. He just can't make a free throw right now. Man, critical misses for Zakai Ziegler. He's going to try again. Looking for somebody. And that was terrific defense. Nelson never left his feet.
Nelson did a great job one-on-one. You would expect Ziegler to move.
Nato keeping that ball in the middle third of the floor, making it very difficult for Tennessee to come off shooters. A Youngblood miss, rebounded Nelson. A fresh 20. Holloway oftentimes leads to a wide open shot.
And they both can shoot the 3.
That ball was deflected by Okpara. Holloway nails it. It is automatic. Untapped, and it's not going to be easy.
Tell you one thing, a little momentum right now.
Lanier's 3.
That baby was in. That baby was in. How did it come out? Still, he's standing still. There's no motion. Easy to guard. I mean, I could guard him if he's standing like that.
Blocked by Nelson. What a job by Nelson. And head in hands for the coaches on the Tennessee, but even though they're down 3, as Gainey finds Okpara. No good. Rebound in traffic, Nelson. And now they are going to have to foul, and they went healthy, and he's a little banged up. He's got that sleeve on his left leg. Murphy missed one in tight.
Nelson keeps it alive. Nice play. Sears and Youngblood. He made a point of telling us, I got to get creators out there with Sears. That was such a good example of it with Holloway's dribble. And then the dish to Sears.
That's his take on this game so far.
They dress a lot better for Jay's member guest Stags than I do, I can tell you that.
He's not worried about Alabama's first 10.
Here's Matthews.
Oh, that should have been a
foul.
foul.
Yeah, he grabbed his jersey and then come away empty.
Ravi, that's got to be
missed
called.
the call,
in
absolutely.
The open floor. That has got to be called.
Long shots, long rebounds. Holloway passed it up. Youngblood. Melendez, plenty of contact and no call. Good job, Nelson, to go straight up.
Yeah, legal play, verticality. There's going to be some crashes at the rim. Really.
Yeah, 2 muffins in there. The chocolate chip cookie, I would strongly encourage Sherry, if she wanted to, again, just a full bag of chocolate chip cookies. Like, you could sell
the zoom action. They really spread you out, coach, and get driving angles as well.
Brea, that's a challenge 3 that was halfway down and then kicked out.
They got to get Nelson going. He hasn't scored at 25.
Brea, he's deep. Now no chance there as 3 white shirts converged on him.
Great job by Nelson Ravi to come off that corner and bother that shot.
They see him.
They got 6 guys averaging double figures until somebody can knock them off the top. I still say that.
Williams can't convert there, and Auburn has got to worry about Alabama, perhaps.
Georgia, career high 25. He was relentless last week against Oklahoma.
Dominating against the Sooners. They had nobody that could match up with his aggressiveness.
He's had a fruitful season. 8 seconds on the timer. Perkins got 4 assists today, by the way. Puts up the 3. Rebound down to Nelson. That's Alabama's top rebound.
And now it's one and done. Miss it. Alabama. The steal or the knockaway. Active hands. He is everywhere.
Sophomore, top 35 of the nation in steals. That pass was tipped, or pardon me, you can count that basket.
By Grant Nelson. Win at Vandy has come to take the place of Dylan Cardwell. Johnson went 9 for 10 at 20 points in the game. Alabama still can't get one to go, but Grant Nelson runs it down. And a fresh possession. Sears will try again. Nelson, another offensive rebound, and he draws a foul.
Boy, great job by Grant Nelson. Cardwell is not going to draw defenders out to that three-point line. Chaney Johnson will.
Diabate, full head of steam. The follow by Nelson, but wave it off. Basket interference.
Looked like Broom knocked it away.
Kelly, Pettiford. Follow no good, and Auburn misses an opportunity in transition.
Alabama very fortunate.
Nelson. Baker Mazzara gets it off, misses the 3, and the rebound to Nelson.
Nelson, the top rebounder on this Alabama team. Really good block out.
Boy, Alabama gets down the court in a hurry. Johnson. Not this time, and it's Alabama ball.
Awfully difficult shot by Chaney Johnson.
If they go quickly, they can go 2. And in and out for Pettiford. So it is still an 8-point game. Nelson the rebound. And you got to feel pretty comfortable if you're Bruce Pearl.
Yeah, that is a comforting thing down the stretch.
Way to go, Jay.
That was you. That was you.
9-point lead. Have a chance. Down by 7. Jones leans in, was looking for the whistle. Nelson the rebound. And there's a whistle, but before that, Young here or there, and you can have a bit of an easier path in the NCAA tournament. And the same could happen in the SEC tournament. But the point is, I mean, just an incredible number of.
I want to let him get his feet set and dare him to shoot it.
Look at that. Look at the handle. A great look to Youngblood for 3.
Edge, man, for 40 minutes, regardless of what the score is. Think about this, Ravi. If Alabama wins, it'll be the first time in program history that Alabama has won 3 straight games against Kentucky.
Side of the rim. Sears pulls it out. Nelson thought about it, hesitates, now drives, attacks, good feed underneath, and the basket by Amori.
Grant Nelson can knock that. Philon is playing so much harder. That's been a real difference. He leads this team in steals, but he's also talking about his leadership and what he brings to the culture. And
21 points for Clayton. Trying to get his 7th game of 25 or more. Big hit by Philon. A much-needed 3 for Alabama.
Leads to a wide-open shot.
And they both can shoot the 3.
That ball was deflected by Okpara. Holloway nails it. It is automatic. I'm telling you, Alabama off of an offensive rebound. Last time down, he found a cutting Nelson for a flush. Now he finds him for a Youngblood 3.
Yep.
That's good, and they are on fire tonight.
Another guy that understands the leading scorer.
We got a dozen tonight. Sears left open. He is so confident right now with his shot, 17 in the game. Nelson on the floor, Amori on the floor. Alabama with a taller lineup. Sears left open. That's dangerous. He buries it right in front of Pope in the Kentucky bench. Double figures now for Perry. He's got 10. Sears beats Noah. And then he threw up an alley-oop. Nelson back in with 3. Sears finds the bottom.
He says, forget about it. Throw lost
it up.
Holloway sets the feed. Holloway throws in the 3.
I was surprised.
Indication on defense as to who was guarding Kelly and Cardwell. Fortunate.
Nelson with a shot fake. Stevenson a corner 3, and Alabama's back within 1.
I did see the neck go into a weird position.
Nice cut.
Wide open, and that's a goaltend on Shedrick. And Alabama's doing everything they want right now against Texas.
On that monitor.
But Jimmy, Nate Oates arrived in 2019. Alabama's 71 SEC wins, or most since that time. And again, the brand of basketball.
He's really come along nicely for Alabama. Great compliment to Sears, who's on the bench for the moment. Youngblood for 3. Drills it.
Well, they have a quick trigger, do they not? And accurate at times as well.
Here's Nelson. Dumped it inside Diabate. Clock at 4. Diabate going to work. Rolls it over the front of the rim. And that's how the first half will come to an end.
To still be right there on the cusp tonight in early February.
ACC probably a 3-bid league. Obviously a huge win for Clemson today. That's Amori again.
Nate Oates calls a timeout.
Drawless Demery taking on Mark Sears.
Three ball is good from Stevenson.
And that's something that's Alabama with getting a field goal.
All of a sudden, an 8-0 Georgia run after a pair of free throws by Newell. And that is quickly stopped on the lob to Sherrill.
And that's the bit connected. It translates over to quality offense in the half-court set.
Pick and roll. Nelson will find Youngblood. And we are all tied at 70.
Well, there you go.
By Youngblood. Holloway. Catch, shoot. Got it.
Pretty happy. 2 court rushes.
That'll cost you.
Yes.
Nelson bounce pass. Holloway hangs in the air. What a shot. Excuse me, Philon hangs in the air after the
first possession of the afternoon. Lamont Butler guarding Mark Sears. That's a huge matchup in this game.
And right over the top for a lob, and what a way to start as Clifford Amori slams it home. And finally a 3. It is Sears in the corner. The first one.
Kentucky with a quick turnaround. I'm sure that has a little bit of effect, even though I'm sure Chris Jans isn't buying it.
Nelson with a beautiful pass over the top of the cutting Darren Stevenson. We've had 3 ties.
Get the basket.
Yeah, but that'll be there for him as long as he continues to play that way. Got to be able to finish that, though.
Amori inside, nice pass from Nelson. You look at South. Nelson, nice pass underneath. Easy 2 points for Mohamed Diabate.
And he went to the dunker.
Underneath is Godwin, but it's Alabama with the board. Nelson throws it up top. And that's Clifford Amori with the jam.
That's a beautiful play. They move forward in the next game, and there'll be another team that you won't want to play.
Alabama getting out of the trap. 3-ball by Stevenson. Rattles in.
Good job there by Jaron Stevenson. South Dakota State has come out in halftime and made some adjustments.
Nelson, Amori, banged home.
Good big action. Good dive down by Clifford. What's more important as a player is what you do with the minutes and the shots that you get while you're on the court.
Mark Sears making the most of his time. He's got 17.
It's a beautiful shot opportunity, Alabama.
To Holloway. Are you seeing this? Aiden Holloway again, a career high 20.
To Oregon out in Vegas.
It is likely it'll be the third year in a row they will have the toughest schedule in the nation as Sears drops in the three. Alabama's first. Sears for three, off the curl. Another second chance opportunity. That was Millette with the hustle play. And the three as well. Nate Oates fired up, and he should be.
Nelson went high-low last time. Sears steps into a three. That is a great example of what they've seen on tape.
Sears needs help. Holloway trying to get across the timeline, just does. And now Nelson leaves it up top. Cliff Amori on the receiving end.
Here, and Amori comes over to help. No one helps the helper.
Here's Nelson. He's a major offensive weapon. This time he tees up Sears. Sears with big range. Took down Rutgers to get to the championship game on Wednesday. Nelson, good look. Nice pass and finish as Mo Diabate on the assist from Nelson on Bartholomew. Nelson with Tracy on him. Behind the back, nice pass, and what a finish. Collecting the assist for Nelson. Is his team just too many giveaways. 9 turnovers in that first half. Oregon's and that ends a 9-0 run as LeBaron Philon on a setup by Nelson. Was that Grant Hill? Shout out to Boogie Cousins, by the way, who apparently is here in Vegas. Here is Holloway, and a three is good. Here comes Alabama. Number 9 in the country. Alabama, and had a big win over Houston last night. Here's Sherrell, first minutes on the floor, and he gets into the act.
And you see right now the offense.
Sears all kind of dribbling here in traffic. In the corner, Stevenson. There's your call, Allie. Stevenson gets the start, knocks it
as well.
Got a media timeout coming as well. Michael utilizing that with Bailey. Alabama, Nelson with the kick into the corner. It goes, and a three-pointer is down for Jaron Stevenson.
8-point Bama lead.
Did Marquette play hard? Stevie Mitchell was just a one-man press at all times. Defensive, what pass? Yes, sir. What a look by Grant Nelson out of that corner.
Hold him down. They switched everything. McNeith's one of those teams that they're tough off the bounce, but defensively did a good job. That's why he's missed only 1 shot this year. And Cliff Amori must be thinking. Amori came up with it. 3-ball. The freshman Philon stays high. The blockout for Purdue was almost too good. No one go.
Reitzel wants 3. And Nelson secures another rebound. So he has 4 to go along with his 16. Reitzel refires and nails it. A long time. That's a tough break for McNeese. Stevenson
Beautiful.
Underneath. Too much size, too much height. Jaron Stevenson with his Bama is searching for the answer. Nelson turns right back to Reitzel. Corner 3. There's the answer.
There you go. We saw the ball popping.
Line up alongside with Nelson and Amori. There's a lot of versatile things you can do with this group.
Nelson beating Amori. That's a great start to the second half for the top.
You know, when you have a 6'10"
Darian Reed. Hello!
Excellent decision. That was all.
There's Nelson. Still working his way back into game shape after missing a bunch of practice time. Gets the assist there as he lays it off to Clifford Amore.
I love to see that.
Missed at the rim by Kentucky. Nelson, that is an offensive foul. Chandler looked like he was falling down. And a little
all year long.
Beat him head-to-head. Cooper had the better game. Cooper has not had a bad game.
Great defense. Cardwell there to deny it. Here they go again. And they'll get the reach in. They isolate Nelson one-on-one with Broome. Travel. We try to shoot it from the floor. They get the walk as Doug Childs.
Percent in SEC games from 3 of 19. That's his fourth one.
Nelson turns it over. Florida looking to get out and run. Condon, a slam. 5 quick points for Alex. Alabama bench after the hit.
Alabama is top locking in the corner to keep Florida from being able to come off that dribble handoff action, and that means it's going to be a back cut.
Young. Another Nelson kick. He opts to drive, and that one is stolen by Matthews.
Yeah, obviously not confident with that three-point shot because it was there.
First matchup with Mississippi State, the Chris Youngblood game. He scored a career-best 7 3-pointers, as you mentioned, but he refuses to let his teammates talk about that. And he said that it was a shooter's paradise in a game like that, but he did not expect so many early opportunities today.
I get the sense there's not many places for him that aren't shooting paradises. This Nelson, an offensive foul on Nelson where it looked like the defender may have been moving.
Missouri done this too early in games in this building.
And think if you're Missouri, you love the pace that Alabama wants to play at in this building. Alabama wants to get up and down. Missouri's liking that.
And that's something you need when you're playing Alabama. Nelson driving on Broome. He slipped, and that'll be a travel.
When Jaron Stevenson made a terrific 45
ball, and he's just a freshman. That's Trey Johnson. He leads the conference in scoring as a freshman at 19 a game. Difficult pass picked off by Shedrick. They got bumped into, but they don't call a foul.
Yeah, Nelson hit.
They throw a difficult pass. It is out of bounds. It's going to be Texas basketball. Nelson went alley-oop, but a good.
They lead the SEC in SEC games, holding opponents 28% from the three-point line. Yeah. Alabama's defense has been that good.
Try to set play with the alley-oop.
6 for 10 in the first half. Nelson tried to go inside, picked off by Newell. On the basketball, 11 turnovers. They've turned it over on nearly 35% of their possessions, and there's another one.
And that's caused by the physicality and the ball pressure. You put pressure. As Alabama was able to come up with the win, 4-point victory in Starkville over a really good Mississippi State team.
Blue Kane takes the bump and rims out.
Youngblood, 3-ball, too strong, and it's Nelson offensive rebound. Tons of pump fakes, and the steal now for Matthews.
A lot of physicality under the boards, and Matthews once again.
Back to the Final Four, you got to do it on both ends, defense and offense.
Ooh, taken away. Here's Williams working on Youngblood. Reverse layup, no good. Chest with an offense.
Alabama, that's the shot you would like to see.
Stripped out of Nelson's hands. Alley-oop. Chest with a throw. Nelson, pass intercepted by Chest. Chest all the way to the rim. He's fouled by Nelson.
Alabama scored 102 in the win yesterday, Saturday, I should say, against Kentucky. They've done that a number of times this year. Offensive foul on Grant.
Sears keeps a left-hand dribble, flings it to the corner. Nelson going to work. Is that an offensive foul? There's a whistle, though I did not see.
Off action. Gets right in between the cutter and the passer.
Nelson driving on Carr, and Carr playing with three, takes it away, and then finds Oweh with it for the tie.
So Alabama didn't give up on the play.
Nelson called for the offensive foul.
And guess who? Lamont Butler. They can afford to be aggressive.
Ray and no. Nelson the rebound. Oh, a steal by Oweh. What a play. And it's a two-point game. And Oweh's got it again. He's fouled by Nelson again.
One turnover of his last 6 games. Here's Grant Nelson trying to take it to the hoop early, and he turns it over. Sean Padula, one of the best defenders in the league, gets pushed off in different ways. They don't just turn you over, but they harass you in a way that forces non-steal turnovers.
You've got to try to play in the middle of the court, and that's where you want it, but poor spacing for Alabama.
Padula dumps it off. Tried it again. Too strong. Grant Nelson back on the floor. He left with an elbow injury after the last hard fall, and he goes right down to the floor again. They'll whistle this one as a jump ball. Oh, second half underway. LeBaron Philon only had 1 point and 2 fouls in the first half. Padula poked it away, and then Nelson wrapped him up.
Yeah, that's a gain. His impact on the game defensively and offensively.
Sears goes back door, and that one ends up in the second row.
Yeah. Nate Oates has had enough. Grant Nelson.
Florida, they gave up 106 points just a few days earlier.
Yeah.
Nelson in some traffic, and they're going to say offensive foul on Grant Nelson. Aiden Holloway, the Auburn transfer, out on the perimeter now. Gets it to Nelson.
What do they regurgitate?
Defense.
God, defend and rebound.
Yeah.
No, you don't.
At some point, it's up to the players to hit the shots. The coaching can only do so much. 1 for 13 from downtown now are the Golden Flashes. 2 minutes to go at half number 1. Nelson barreling in.
It's really hard to take
all the threes in the NBA being taken now. He said, look, efficiency basketball is winning basketball. You look at the Boston Celtics, they took as many threes as anybody last year. They dominated. Nelson rounded and finally got it poked away. Sullinger, he's not going to try it against the big man.
Not in transition. Nice work by Sherrell to affect the attempt from Mayor. And another turnover. Bama a little loose with the basketball in the early stages. Nelson. Pass knocked away.
Good hands by Eaglestaff.
The transition three.
Nelson. It's like he's going up against his clone. It's a Spider-Man meme with Nelson versus Trout. Can you expense a car battery?
I'm going to do my best.
Nelson lost it. Great hustle by Jason Green. Home crowd wanted a whistle.
That is tough.
Nelson inside. Brought it down with him, lost it. Trout on the floor. Ashworth comes out of there with it. Creighton's got a 4-on-4.
And set it. Straight line drives. Guys like Mark Sears. Philon has been able to get to the rim at will.
Davis kick up ahead. Trimble off his hands out of bounds. Here in Chapel Hill. Lob attempt. And Nelson overshot. Powell.
That's a football player giving you basketball advice.
12 turnovers for Alabama. And that's going to be a whistle prior to the shot. Going to be on the screen, and Alabama see Nelson. They clear it out for him. Gets into the paint. Nelson looking for help. Throws it out of bounds. Another Bama turnover. It has dogged him all game. Gets out of it. Now Nelson pushes.
I think you got to have the ball in Nelson's hands. I mean, right now, mismatch. Oh, great hands.
Shellstad picked his pocket. In transition. Shellstad, no! Oh, Williams coming back from 2 fouls. Scores immediately. Nelson, and he walked with it. Little shot fake, but didn't get his feet set.
Looks fine, but great activity on the defense. And Houston, they're going to play hard. And once again, a third turnover early for Alabama.
First foul on Uzan. Play. These players are going to find out what the parameters are, how much grabbing they can do, how much contact, and Houston forces a turnover. Sharp drive, Sharp, denied. But Bama, 10 of those came early in that first half. They cleaned it up since that time. Nelson turns the corner, lost the handle. Cryer on the floor, Nelson on the floor. And what do we got? A jump ball. See if Bama has an answer. Nelson, and he dribbles it off his foot. Alabama turns it over. Houston ball.
Frustration right there.
Easy to see that this being the first test for Illinois, and that they'll be a team that continues to rise throughout. Ivisic rejects that pass from Nelson. Both teams tough schedules.
Weitzel. Alabama had it to within one. Back the other way.
5 years, he's already had 22 games of over 100 points as the Crimson Tide's head coach.
I was half expecting for it to be 68 in the first few games. Nelson passed that one.
Went to a 1-3-1, and now they're back to more of a matchup zone right now. Just really trying to dissuade Alabama from going into the paint.
Yeah, Nelson there gets caught trying to Hooker misfires. Nelson, another rebound. Grant Nelson flung it out, and so McNeese State gets a new 30 seconds right here.
A lot of back.
Nelson trying to go to Reed, but Todd with the steal.
Avey off the back of the rim. Nelson that rebound. Outlet picked off and saved by the Bulldogs. Here comes Banks the other way. Oh, nice throw. Nelson misfires. By the way, the boys that run the field of 68. Great.
Condon gets it back from Martin. Spins. Missed it off the front iron. That's going to be basket interference. Pass. Condon. Another pass down low. Shot clock at 3. Condon inside, and a foul with 1.8 on the shot clock.
Just footing.
Nelson's been very quiet, like he was in the game.
Very,
And also
yes.
against Kentucky.
Alley-oop. No, he couldn't convert it.
Did everything right, so efficient in both schools.
You think they'll be waiting on him next week when we go to Auburn?
They don't need a 3, even though they're down 3. As Gainey finds Okpara. No good. Rebound in traffic. Nelson.
To OU, just not at all common for a Chris Jans team.
Kugel found a cutting Matthews. That was contested by Nelson. He's got 7 points now. Transfer out of USF and Kennesaw State. And a missed bunny at the rim.
15, if not 220, just a big physical guy on both ends of the floor. But man, that's a sweet, sweet stroke.
Yeah, good hands. Nelson on that bounce pass from Murphy.
The face of Nelson, it bounces to Johnson. And a lot of banging underneath, and a foul called on Grant Nelson. Not for the body.
And they've been able to take advantage of that.
Hubbard keeping his dribble alive. Warren inside, and the two-handed slam for Jones Jr. Youngblood is now guarding Hubbard. Tipped away.
To bring a little bit more extra energy.
Here's Chess working on Nelson. A little too strong. Youngblood. Chess with a throwdown. Good couple of possessions for LSU.
Standing where everybody is.
Butler using the screen, bumped into from behind by Sears, finds Carr for the layup.
Performance so far in this second half, Ole Miss.
Breakfield to Dia. Out of bounds. Back. In for Coleman. In the paint. Payne backing inside. Lays in another one and fouled as well. Nate Oates couldn't
have to guard on the perimeter. Late clock situation for the Golden Flashes. Inside. Rejected by Nelson. Swatted. There he is. Number 35 in white at the top defensively.
How about Reed getting the start?
The second half, my goodness.
Oh, more. The Alabama team that's going to contend for a national title. They get Chris Youngblood back. Obviously having Reitzel out hurts him, but they are as talented as any team in the country. And I mean, think about what this team could have been if Reitzel didn't get hurt. And they also have Chris Youngblood coming back. He's a transfer from USF. He provides
freshmen, the new recruits, transfers coming in, excuse me. You know, they got to figure out, build that continuity, and chemistry is down low.
Rejection by Ace Bailey, much more active tonight. Bailey wants the ball, gives it up. Oboli again against Nelson. No. They're sat for 3.5 minutes when he picked up his 4th foul. And that lead dwindled to 2. Here's Oboli, missed it, point blank, got his own. Sets up Durkak for 3. Cougars with the ball, down 3. Big 12 against the SEC. What a matchup. Miller hangs and scores, so call it on some fresh legs.
Oh, wow. That was not there. Grant Nelson went up to get it. Philon back.
Ford, Hill, got it.
Beautiful execution coming off of 2 drag screens. Been able to hit one for the outside. I'm looking to drive every possession if I'm the Tide.
Arkansas State goes inside.
Great job.
Aaron Todd with 18 points today. Lobs it, and there's Marshall with the flush.
Beautiful play. The play 8. Asheville with the numbers in transition.
Tolentino, how about the little floater in the lane?
2 back-to-back. It's just a matter of converting a shot when they get a clean look.
Rubio tied up. Solomon. Boy, he has been something here in the first half.
For a freshman, he now has 100 3-point field goals this season. Pettiford wraparound, beautiful.
But Auburn lost the game earlier this year and stayed number 1. Aberdeen with a lob, and great finish by Condon as he got undercut by Nelson as the ball arrived. Clayton look at a drive.
Got the switch.
Bounce inside, Condon triple team. Condon puts it up, no. Houck had it, lost it out of bounds. Alabama.
Bunch of quick shots in the paint. They're 8 of 13 from 3. Be a difficult team to beat when they're doing that. And there's another defensive play, this time by
South Florida, and they feel like he is just starting to get that rust off.
Well, this kid was the co-AAC Player of the Year, and he's starting to get into his form, getting his rhythm, finishing big, and Amori up top.
Auburn's getting all the attention, so Murphy slips to the bucket for 2 more as the Bulldogs retake the lead. Under a minute to play.
There's the response, but Hubbard is barreling right back down on you.
Murphy pick and roll. His runner goes. The assist goes to Hubbard.
He's Vanderbilt, but since that game, just 9 points in the last 4 conference games. Boy, nice take by Collins.
Jordan Sears has been.
Under a minute to go. First half. Here's Sears. Alley-oop, well done. Sears played that just like his counterpart, Mark Sears, the way he handled that. That was the last couple of days for Nate Oates and his staff. On the scouting report, great pocket pass that time. McLaughlin finishes. It was Collins to McLaughlin.
Line. Right in his hip pocket. Here comes Butler. Floats it up. Tipped by Williams, won't go. And it belongs to the top.
Murray says, I found a seam. I found Dia, and he found a jam. 23 from Malik Dia.
Jamari Thomas, the senior transfer. And Jacoby Wright. Right back to Nick Pringle, the former Crimson Tide. For Bulls here. Yeah, they got it. If they want to have any chance, they got to get 30 the ball a little bit, and that works too. Nick Pringle.
Wow, Nick Pringle just going to put.
Elvis has done a nice job penetrating. No look pass, but Godwin can't finish.
For the defensive rebound. 6 of the last 8 shots have been made by the Jackrabbits. Clough. Left side of the lane, couldn't get that to go. Nelson with a rebound. Nelson. There's Clough. Left it short thanks to the defense of Nelson.
That's one that Clough has to go.
He is their top scorer. Marquise Bennett, also a very dangerous guy, both offensively and on the defensive end.
Lob, Kalkbrenner. And a timeout take.
Carolina in a drought, closing in on 2.5 minutes without a score. And Withers ends that drought.
Durkak leaves a 2-man game. Aboli can't get their balance. Offensive board. Acup. Bama turns it over again. Emmanuel Sharp pulls it back. Working on a screen from Francis. In a 2-man game, Francis walked with it.
Rhythm now on the offensive end.
Arsenault gives it up. And a whistle inside.
Festival. Carnival.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
It's the Players Era Festival. Inside Tugman, moving bodies, and Nelson with a foul. Count it. Chance it.
Bounds if you're Illinois and think the next one's not going to drop. Very, very fortunate.
Bama started the game 4 for 4 from deep. Tied just 1 for its last 11 by Boswell. Humberkaus wants it in the corner. Instead, dunked down to the post.
Or did everything but finish there. That early ball. You don't want fast, quick shots. You got to get that ball and kind of match the speed for Alabama when you're down 13 with 8 to go.
Oh, he thought Vucevic was going to get there quicker.
Smith to Kaufman-Renn. Good vertical contest, man. Grant Nelson straight up. Lawyer, Smith. And Smith could have let that go. But he likes Kaufman-Renn inside. For that reason, he is getting back to that right hand, left shoulder. I mean, that looked like he was going to the right shoulder. 9 assists. Maybe another? Yeah. Boy, with that side cleared out, that action is so hard to guard. Nelson's worried about break.
Basket. 0 for 4 to start as Williams pulls his way down, and he draws the foul on Nelson.
Nelson says no, and he comes out. Now Broome backs him down.
Little one-on-one play here.
You can make a tough 2.
Condon left alone. He'll let it fly and drill a 3.
He's going to try again. Looking for somebody. And that was terrific defense. Nelson never left his feet.
Here's with 11, 12-point game. So that puts it into the 9-0 Missouri run. Robinson, step back from 15.
So a shot, what, 50% from three-point land again?
Again, length on Trey Johnson. This time it's Nelson.
Too strong. And that one is tipped up and in. It may have acted to Sears. Well, they got the switch, and Sears going to take Nelson, just threw it up, trying to draw a foul, didn't work. Foul on the... Oh, boy, what a move. He just broke down Nelson.
Yeah, he did, and that's what he's been doing.
He was relentless, and Alabama has gone over 100 for the 6th time this season.
Man, that move right there by Jason Edwards.
Edwards.
Murray with Nelson on him. Eyed the shot clock. Got the big guy in the air. Tried to draw the foul. Barely drew the rim.
Yeah, I thought he had enough.
Diaz got a team high 14. Turn around. And the loose ball.
Getting some work in the first half. Hadn't played a whole lot. Number 21 in white. This guy, Jacoby Wright, has played a ton over the last 3 years. Left that one short. Nelson.
Fears with a mismatch. Goes high off the glass, off the mark. He is 0 for 6.
Seiler swims up a shot, no good. Clough with the O board. Moore's coming.
Was just trotting down the court. I don't think anybody had any awareness that Nelson was down there by himself.
That one rejected by Stevenson.
Alabama bigs on display. But you're right. I mean, it takes a minute for teams to figure out, but these tough opponents, great shot there.
A.J. Evans. That showed you something right there on Philon. Man, he can fly. Tracy, he'll pull it over Nelson. Missed it. And
this is right at the rim. They're going to be tested against these talented freshmen.
This will be a matchup to watch tonight. Ace Bailey goes strong, so he gets into the act right away. That was some win by Alabama last night to beat the Cougars, the #6 Houston Cougars. Oboli going again. He's taking on Nelson. We saw Houston last night shut off. Jordan Durkak. Durkak trying to get Nelson off the ground. Another tough basket by Jordan Durkak. That would question that statement about your defense and how much you like it. Again, putting a taller player on Cryer, and he's missed 2 threes with size on.
The mismatch here with Nelson.
And now he pulls him out. They spread it out for him. Cryer drives. Cryer, little hesitation. Oh, top bucket. LJ. Sharp picks up his dribble. 5 to shoot. Nelson guarding Cryer. Cryer, I'm going to have to put up a tough shot. He is fouled. A little hesitation.
A finalist, 1 of 5 for the Cousy Award as the best point guard in the nation. Martin. And look at Nelson. Did he play some free safety back in North Dakota?
Yeah, until he grew.
Small. We got to be more locked in on our switches and play smarter. We are better than this.
Well, there's a lost ball from Owe. Nelson, good shooter. Holloway, physical guy on both ends of the floor. But, man, that's a sweet, sweet stroke. Yeah, good hands. Nelson on that bounce pass from Murphy. Never got to Matthews. They're 8 of 13 from 3. Be a difficult team to beat when they're doing that. And there's another defensive play, this time by Grant Nelson. Youngblood is now guarding Hubbard. Tipped away. It's Alabama with a steal.
Except that Brakefield now has 3 personal fouls. Here's spin move and a takeaway by Nelson.
Jacoby Wright's off to a good start with a couple of baskets, halfway to his season average. Boy, Jamari Thomas got caught up in the baseline, nowhere to go.
Never want to jump and have to pay.
Fears, just a dynamic score. Takes the bump, but he loses it. And Nelson tips out to Oklahoma. Miles goes 1-on-2 and throws it away.
Alabama with numbers. Here comes. Denai went off for 8 threes in that game, and Aiden Holloway has picked it up right after her with the outstanding shooting performance.
Defense by Grant Nelson.
Good scorer Marquise Bennett, also a very dangerous guy, both offensively and on the defensive end. And the first turnover of the game gives it to Alabama. And then Sears.
Guys, see how many defensive points he can score instead of offensive.
He stuffed the stat sheet, Allie, against Illinois. 16 points, 9 assists, 7 boards. As Houston turns it over here, they have a chance to turn in
that lefty shot from Cryer.
That offensive board putting Alabama on the defensive end here for an eternity. Now a turnover. Alabama with a takeaway, right? So
going to drop. Very, very fortunate.
Bama started the game 4 for 4 from deep. Tied just 1 for its last 11. Nelson with the denial inside.
Tom, you've got to win the foot.
Oh, wow. That was not there. Grant Nelson went up to get it. Philon back with it. Nelson can do this.
Amadi Abate tried to feed Reitzel. Here's Nelson with a steal, and he'll go to the line.
Excellent job there by Grant.
Martin, the lob for Condon. Really caught under the basket, blocked from behind and blocked again. And it'll be out.
There's some kind of athletes on this floor, I'll tell you that.
Broom, difficult shot. Nelson out of nowhere with a big block.
A little bit of a message afterwards.
Alabama makes 10 threes per game. of the best in the nation.
They have won so far today. Down low to Moore for Janai Broome. Again,
Philon in the paint, in and out, rebounded by Houck. Richard, Condon got position underneath, and good defense by Nelson.
A ton of contact.
It's on the clock. He's going to try again. Looking for somebody. And that was terrific defense. Nelson never left his feet.
Nelson did a great. Lanier's got to move. He's standing still. He's standing still. There's no motion. Easy to guard. I mean, I could guard him if he's standing
Blocked
like that.
by Nelson. What a job by Nelson. And head in.
And that's Alabama's offense right there. They want to be so aggressive in the first 10 seconds of every possession.
Oweh all the way denied by Nelson as we take a look at the Kentucky starting five.
Baseline jumper, no.
Here he goes again in traffic, blocked by Nelson.
Alabama wants to continue to do is punch the paint. That draws help, then you can kick it out to open three-point shooters.
Miles Kelly into the chest of Nelson. It is out of bounds and belongs to the Tide.
What Arkansas wants to do from a clock management standpoint on the offensive end.
Yeah, I think you're going to see Arkansas, as they are right now, in a late clock possession. They want to grind away at Alabama, make them play defense, choke this.
Hand off to Davis. Davis for three. Thiero skies for the rebound. Muscles his way up, and Nelson got a piece of it. Taken away by Davis.
He's out of three. Demery off the bounce, set back by Nelson. Here comes Youngblood.
You to shoot it well.
Finally healthy after that injury he sustained in the preseason, kept him out for a month.
But you have to run when you have the numbers.
Shane Montgomery into the game for the first time, left it long, and scooped up by Nelson.
This is important for Georgia. You have to continue to be who you are. And when you try to force the issue and get into the pace game with Alabama, it makes it difficult.
Newell muscles it up there. Tuscaloosa returning this program to national prominence and bringing it to places it had not yet been.
Absolutely. A historical performance under Nate Oates' team.
Nwoko spinning in the paint, and it's swatted by Grant Nelson. Hubbard leans in, had it blocked. Sears looking to Vanderbilt. It was the SEC title in 23, the title in 21, and the Final Four last season.
Dia takes off. Right at Nelson, rejected at the rim. Another try, banked it in, and he's going.
But immediately you see two Aggies going over the trap in that Coffin corner, forcing the turnover.
Payne wants to go in strong, denied by Nelson. Nice save. Hefner with a miss, though, for Bama. Phelps trying to get a shot in the air, blocked by Nelson. Second effort by Payne, and he'll bank it in.
On a 12-2 run for the Crimson Tide.
Here it is.
Pringle. Good defense underneath by Nelson.
Terrific defense by Bama.
Fierce has not had any space to get going, so it's Moore. He has that rejected by Nelson. Moore trying to come back at him with it.
Seiler swims up a shot, no good. Off with the O board. Morris comes in, denied. The game by Grant Nelson. There's Clough. Left it short thanks to the defense of Nelson.
That's one that Clough has to go up a little bit early.
5-on-5 in the half court. It was very competitive. There was winners and losers. Team worked hard. And there's Nelson again impacting winning.
Inside.
Omori is going to have to guard on the perimeter.
Late clock situation for the Golden Flashes. Inside. Rejected by Nelson. Swatted that one clean.
Legs, nicely done. Guljovic, nice find to King, blocked by Nelson. He did that a lot in this state. 10 to shoot. Eagle Staff on the drive. Nelson got a touch. Crowd wanted a goaltend. We will play on. Guljovic trying to get past Omori. Nelson came across on the block, his second of the game.
Right, but it's about getting them in operational positions on the court. And that's why I think those guys have to play. They have to play through that to a degree, because right now, all of your shot dependency is off the dribble for guys like me.
Alabama by 5 under 2 minutes to go. Biddle down on the block. Double team comes.
The Philon blocked that right there.
At 41. 10 seconds between the shot and game clock. Turning the corner. And a Nelson block. Martini is there. He is fouled.
Roll right in front of the rim position. And does he understand his pace for a freshman guard off the rim?
Challenges Boswell and comes up with the dunk. Numbers for the 10.
He told me he woke up one morning, his gut told him Alabama's going to be the best place for you. Pretty good fit so far.
Nelson commits sky. Rebound by Boswell. Humberkaus wants it in the corner. Instead, dunk down to the post.
Or did everything but finish there. That early ball screen. Perfection.
Bama's reopened that lead thanks to a 9-0 run. Yakachonis rejected by Nelson. That was a side block.
Or one-on-one against Nelson. 3 to shoot. Good block. Heidi. Philon in a hurry.
Since he's returned.
A tough cover for Nelson right now.
Williams, yeah, he drew the foul. I don't know why Alabama got switched off and they don't.
Over the ball is the most dangerous thing on the floor.
No doubt.
Bounce pass down low. Johnson. Nelson holds his ground. Good job defensively.
Here comes the first 10 seconds.
The finals, if they win. Good hands, deflection there, and then wide open underneath. Broom. Too easy. Great hands, though, to reclaim the basketball.
A little one-on-one right here against Nelson. He's going one-on-one with Nelson.
Janai Broom, fade away. No good. They got 2 seconds.
How do you become the president of the Crimson Chaos? What's the process?
Yeah, how do you become the president of the Crimson Chaos?
Yeah, so my freshman year, I got down here and
Garrison, that's... Carr wants the isolation. He sends Brea away. Andrew Carr, wow, yes, that's pretty.
Fake. He wanted to win this match.
It's Mark Mitchell on the defensive end. Alabama has not been able to score over.
Mitchell just bullies his way in for the bucket. Length. So here's Mitchell.
Nobody's going one-on-one.
Mitchell goes up, draws the foul on Nelson.
Half. Johnson. Not this time, and it's Alabama ball. Awfully difficult.
Nelson, one-man show. That comes up short. Shedrick, the rip. Wants to throw it up, and that's exactly what he did, was throw it up. And here come the top.
Nelson, 10 to shoot. Newell fighting for the offensive rebound, but Bama into the first half on a 6-0 run. And that'll help from Godfrey.
It's a really good post.
Newell.
Great spin with the left hand for the freshman. Needed to be played. But some tough games on the road. But I'm telling you, the talent and physicality of this team is tough to deal with. Mason, an Auburn transfer, has responded very well in his role coming off the bench.
Eloko with the sky hook. Eloko spinning in the paint, and it's swatted by Grant Nelson.
Our defender is going to be a guard coming over on Keyshawn Murphy, and that's the difference.
Murphy trying to go one-on-one, gets to his hook shot, and that was good D by Nelson. Chest up and under, gets his own miss. Again, left it a little bit short, but it'll stick. It was the SEC title in 23, the title in 21, and then the Final Four last season.
This is Carr. Terrific matchup, Carr and Nelson. Carr gets the jump hook off, but couldn't hit it. Robinson runs it down on the baseline. Elbow to Williams. 10 to shoot. Backing down Nelson. The lefty up, no good. Stevenson the rebound. Williams hollering.
Bama nearly got it back. 5-on-4 for the Rebels.
With all the turnovers, you might want to start calling some plays.
Turnaround jump hook in and out. Dia takes off. Right at Nelson. Rejected at the rim. Another try. Banked it in.
2-run for the Crimson Tide.
Here it is.
Pringle. Good defense underneath by Nelson.
Shattering screen by CMB is the bigs. As you see him right here.
And another foul as Pringle splits a couple of Crimson Tide defenders.
Moore trying to come back at him with 8 on the shot clock. Spinning baseline, cut off, throws up a wild one. Godwin with the board and puts it in.
Grant Nelson. Now that's a good sign for Alabama when Grant Nelson has it on. The shooting woes have been huge for Alabama, not able to shoot shots. But Nelson getting his feet set, knocking it down. A bit up and down for both teams, as you would like to see a little bit more offense. But the game is starting to flow into what Alabama really needs to try to put it away as they've.
Wilkinson trying to move past Nelson. Couldn't finish the hook shot. Basketball to Alabama.
It's missed short. It's that step back jumper. Comes up short.
Well, May transfer. They have maybe as much depth as anybody in the country. Kalkbrenner gets a whistle on a touch from Grant Nelson. Defense. We put our chest out instead of reaching. There's a cost to it. They don't force as many takeaways as some teams might, but there's certainly a payoff. Kalkbrenner has 8.
Holloway checks in for him. Holloway, the transfer from Auburn. And he's matching up with Shelstad right now. And down on the block, got a whistle.
And one of them that really opened everybody's eyes on the team was the Portland game, 3 games in, when they were favored by 20 on their home court, and it took them to overtime to get the victory. I talked to TJ.
Their offense up high, so a lot of cuts, back cuts.
2 bigs on the floor, too, now, and Biddle and Evans is fouled. Well, Grant, we were at shoot-around today, and at this time, and Supreme Cook going at Nelson. That is a target for Oregon, and Nelson holds his ground. We got a whistle. 10 assists for Bama. 7-0 run here. And Biddle able to score.
That was good defense.
Alabama by 5 under 2 minutes to go. Biddle down on the block. Double team comes.
The Phylon blocked that right there.
Gives it up. Oboli closed out by Nelson. And Oboli puts up a tough shot now. Missed it badly. Nelson rips it up.
Seeing this team struggle and turn the ball over like they are.
Bang it inside goes Javier Francis. Arsenal with the offensive rebound. Long.
What I call NASCAR cuts. When they cut with speed. Talking about Alabama.
Ivicic, little jump hook. He's got 7. You talk about the details that Ivicic working. Whoa. Physical, quick move by Ivicic, and it's a baby hook home.
That's big time by
man defense. Dalton ran against Nelson.
Well, they're letting those guys play. Really physical inside.
Nate Oates said they didn't play fast enough in the summer because of that abdominal injury, but you could certainly tell he looked back to close to 100%. Kaufman-Renn, exclamation point. Grant Nelson. Right back to Kaufman-Renn. Whoa, what a spin. And that's all he has to do. He loved his right hand, but as long as he has been on the bench with 2 fouls, has a team-high 9 points. That physicality, I mean, he just knocks Grant Nelson back there. Nelson's got to take away his left shoulder. He's been winning right here in this spot. And again, I mean, that's what he wants, and Grant Nelson's got to be aware of it. Nelson, 3 to shoot. Good block. Heidi. Philon in a hurry.
Great defensive play right there because Stevenson had himself a layup taken away.
Ziegler banged by Nelson. He'll go to the free throw line as he drew the contest.
He's got to move. He's standing still. He's standing still. There's no motion. Easy to guard. I mean, I can guard him if he's standing like that.
Blocked by Nelson. What a job by Nelson. Stevenson at 6'10", 6'11", guarding Caleb Grill. Cannot let Grill get hot and get touches. But right now it's the Tony Perkins show.
Perkins, an early cut off by Nelson. Now Grill may have to hoist. Draws the foul. He's going to the line to shoot 3.
They're on the boards. Last possession, good news for Mississippi State as Josh Hubbard, who's been struggling shooting. Watch out now!
Ooh, nasty screen. Hubbard freed by it. And it's Jones Jr. tracking down. Carter still comes up with it. Cam Carter just 2 points, make it 4 points.
A little late coming off that help.
High pick and roll. Cam Carter hangs in the air. Oh.
And he had to take on both.
Alabama at the rim now, 12 of 20. Pull-up jumper for Sears again.
Balance and the ability to stop on a dime, the dribble between the legs and get it up on the glass, phenomenal.
To foul on Nelson. Well, that is now official.
Holloway continues the hot shooting.
It's his 3rd 20-point game this season. He's got 22. Cut it back to single digits. It is an 8-0 run. Very similar to the late second half run on Saturday.
Brakefield directing traffic late in the shot clock. Now 3, 2, 1. And Diaz got the offensive rebound. Padula will pull the trigger with 5. And he lets it fly. Over Nelson. Sean Padula with
Phelps, the senior out of Midland, Texas. On the fake, can't connect. One and done on that possession.
3 by Mark Sears, who once again shushes the crowd. 28 points.
Phelps in heavy traffic, will lay that in.
Alert on him to find out where he is because he's roaming. Being able to play off the ball, I think that's what he's added to his game. Being able to play without the ball and score. Zach Davis comes back and answers
and finishing the paint.
Fears, just a dynamic score. Takes the bump, but he loses.
Seiler off balance. Couldn't connect, and Amori chases down the rebound. Take a look at this. Jackson contested 3. Philon with the rebound.
Patrolling the paint awfully well for the Tide. Gets a contest there. And look.
Oh, I like the way you're thinking.
Whoa, a logo 3. Wow. I don't think that's what they drew up, but that's what.
Alabama had been 4 of 4 from behind the arc in this half. King this time affected greatly at the rim. Alabama now 5 of 8 from behind the arc in this half. 10 of 26 for the game. Eagle step high off the window. He said.
Ashworth flails as operational positions on the court. And that's why I think those guys have to play. They have to play through that to a degree, because right now all of your shot dependency is off the
three-pointer of the year. He had missed his first 18 threes. Finally hits. Jeremiah Williams misses a mid-range. Down 8. Harper and Bailey, the two freshmen on the floor. Bailey up and over Nelson, short. Nelson lost the handle, and that'll be on Saturday night.
Dylan Harper's been quiet the last 4 or 5 minutes, B.A.
Bailey going to work here. Bailey sticks it.
And that's what I thought he could have done on the previous play back.
Oh, he can fly. JoJo Tugler, he's been an impact player. And knifing to the basket, Malik Wilson, who lays it in. Wow. He's got a three-point shot. He hits a big one for Alabama, makes it 51-48. Arsenault with the answer on the other end for Houston. Cryer now, 6 to shoot. Cryer's got some traffic. Cryer trying to get himself free. Nothing there. Turn around. Shoots it with a left hand. No. Tugler board. A minute to go in the first overtime. Cryer, Bacon, shaken. The floater. No. And Nelson kept it alive. Who touched it?
Dude was able to lock down Alabama on Friday night.
You know what else jumped out to me about that Purdue game? Behind Paul Gallen Fieldhouse, Mackey Arena, probably the second most.
Getting his 4th personal foul. Lead back to double digits. Yakachones, no. Reed with the rebound.
High on that right side, high corner.
1 foot fadeaway, no.
Cox just hit a 3. How about another? Got it!
Made a couple, all right, but that's not a great look.
Cox has that pull up. And that's against
reigning defensive player of the year. His 4th year in Lake Charles, one of the holdovers for the prior coaching staff. Shoemate got his hands on it. They got Cliff.
7-point Alabama lead. Taryn Todd lost control of the basketball. Julian with the rebound.
Impressed with Reed's footwork, but just not able to finish.
Floater from the logo. Won't go for Todd. Marshall too strong. There's Mark Sear.
Carr will come up way short. Perry, no. Andrew Carr.
2 tournament championships. On the other side, Nate Olson's won 2 of each. Unbelievable.
Broom, no, off the back. Not a good shot, but they get
activities post game along with Mark Sears, Martin, and the baseline cut off by Sherrill. Good defense. Houck with a good look. Can't hit the 3. Leading the way with 24. Clayton has 21. Condon 25 for Florida. Houck gets a good look. Front rim, no. And they're going to call Condon.
About 9 a game. Had 8 yesterday as the Domchek went nuts with 31. Lakers, by the way, Jay Redick's done a great job.
Another 3 and a rare one for.
Story is for so many kids. He was not heavily recruited. Here he is, 5'9", never believed in the word can't.
Yep.
Chase your dreams.
Igor is for Mississippi State, and they're going to give up 100+ in this one as Murphy works his way in. But Lenardi's got them fairly comfortably in Mississippi State.
Excuses must be no alibis, but it is a fact. You lose your starting guards, that's a big loss.
Carr will launch from the corner. Too strong. Nelson went for it.
Team flash. There's the veteran. That's Tony Perkins. 5th-year senior follows his own miss. You got a shooter in the corner. It's Trent Pierce.
I am going right into Grill and knocking him into the first row.
Well, you mentioned Philo's got to be good today. Oh, Mitchell, he hit one earlier. New 20.
Just under 18 a game. He's 14 of 35 from the field.
Chaney Johnson hits the 3. And that's why he's in the game. Dylan 14 from 3-point range. Johnson open again and hits another three.
Nato Jackson went back and watched his high school tape and his numbers, because Holloway didn't shoot it well last year at Auburn, but 50% right now in conference play here from three.
Kaluma no good. Larry, they need one. He got it.
You got to make him, and you're only making 6.
Last 3 games for DJ Wagner. He's got a 4-to-1 assist to turnover ratio. Adu mid-range short. And here's Aiden Holl. Wagner left alone. Youngblood got picked up in a screen. Ivisic over Nelson.
Yeah. Man, what touch. And Grant Nelson just a happier.
It's easier for offensive rebound opportunities.
Newell. Oh, rebound for Godfrey. Counted in the
work on the baseline as he tight-roped it.
Newell a 3.
Hubbard with the pump fake. Comes to a stop in traffic. 6 on the shot clock. Hubbard a deep 3.
He is not shut backcourt. If one of them isn't feeling it, it can go to a number of other guys.
Collins will try another 3, and LSU just can't find the mark. Collins, big screen. Back to Collins. Cam Carter, ball fake, shoots it over Nelson. Got it! Boy, he's heating up now. Cam Carter. Williams, long 3 over Nelson.
Balls for Alabama. You don't want to give away a layup, but if they're going to get one, don't foul him.
Almanor hits one and a foul.
Jarrell. Couldn't get past him. Morse from outside. Buries the three-pointer. Matthew Morse.
And that's what happens.
But it's in Tuscaloosa, not Brookings. Here's Gary. Nelson did everything he could to try and block it, but still knocked down.
They took as many threes as anybody last year. They dominated, won a title. It's just, I don't care how we get there.
Right.
Winning is winning. If that means taking a lot of threes, so be it.
Brian Matthews now, the Chicago native. The quick skip. Eagle step open. This place was almost SEC freshman squad a season ago while at Auburn. Woodson short on this tray, it seems.
Good contest.
The transition 3. Woodson on the offensive rebounds. Eli King.
We'd like to see if they can get McAndrew open. They've had some great set plays for him. Just got to find him.
Here he is.
Whoa!
And he's fouled.
He likes this matchup here with Philon. Now gives it up. Moss finds the big man. Biddle misses again. Biddle 0 for. Martini sets the screen for Harper. Harper patient. Martini open for 3. No. Nelson the rebound. Dunk. Harper probes. Reitzel all over him. Three-pointer comes up short from Durkek. Uzan pulls it back. LJ Cryer turned away, sets up an open 3 for Tugler. He missed it, and there's Nelson with the board. And
also like the fact that if he hits droughts, there's other dudes.
Yakachonis with the kick. And
they've defended, they've rebounded, and they've been able to make some shots at the rim. Cam Hardy to the party.
Ranked the number 5 point guard in the nation. I love his alpha mindset.
Yeah, he is impressed just a few games in here. He started the first 2.
Joseph Pinion just came in for Todd. Extra pass to Julian. From the corner, he buries the 3.
that's beautiful act.
Forward out to Julian. Three-pointer won't go. Another rebound by him. Brings it back out to the perimeter. Julian from 3. And he buries the three-pointer. Just the second one made. Julian off the back iron with the 3. Amori with the rebound.
Hauck
The pass fake, and he'll return the favor with a dunk at the other end.
And Condon.
Hudson County, New Jersey.
Johnson step back. Terrific box out there. Hubbard got a mismatch.
Well, the thing about Gordon Hubbard, well, once he gives it up right now, don't let him get it back.
They do get the Harwell launch from the corner. Too strong. Nelson went for it. Give Perry credit. And now the shot fake. And he's got the nicest rotation.
Game, just not giving those dribble handoffs any life.
Brea. He's open. No good. How about Sears with a box in this game?
And have trailed by as many as 14. Broom. And he looks shaken up.
Turnovers, and you still have an 8-point lead. Kaluma into the paint. He rises that short. I think Nelson may have blocked that. Johnson left wide open. That's a layup for Trey Johnson. Well, he's got 20. Yeah, you did. Jedrick boxing out. Johnson was wide open over here in the corner, and they didn't see him, but instead they'll
to do from a clock management standpoint on the offensive end.
Yeah, I think you're going to see Arkansas, as they are right now, in a late clock possession. They want to grind away at Alabama, make them play deep.
Thero thinking about it. And he just punished Grant Nelson.
Well, Arkansas was very clean, just making those blue-collar plays that Nate Oates thrives on.
This dude is brimming with confidence. A fade away!
Seconds of the shot clock. They're pretty much unmatched in college basketball.
Thero, turnaround fadeaway.
The physicality of Thero.
Brazil keeps it alive. Knox steps through. And then Stevenson put to the floor by Richmond.
He start and not able to do so far.
Here's Blue Kane going right to the rim, too heavy. The length of both of these teams will be.
Alabama did a good job defensively.
Turning this program to national prominence and bringing it to places it had not yet been.
Absolutely. A historical performance under Nate Oates.
Matthews going 1-on-2, kick out. Murphy decides to put it on the deck, and how about the Euro from the big man? That was next. No whistle. Crowd can't believe it. LSU going the other way. And Cam Carter stepped on the side. Is he on his way to a 25, 26 rebound night? There's Cam Carter slicing to the basket and lays it in. Tied again.
Work for this Alabama team, and once again he checks right in and makes his presence known.
Gets those blue collar points. Oh, a nice drive. making Jalen Carey, pardon me. So
one of 7 1,000-point scorers in this Alabama roster. Step back 16-footer, no good. Dia crashing the glass. Dia, full head of steam. Followed his own miss.
Well,
Morrell got a bump from Nelson, and he'll go to the free throw line.
Fierce has not had any space to get going, so it's Moore. He has that rejected by Nelson. Moore trying to.
Sears, good switch out there. Youngblood communicating.
Stoney had not. Swatted away by Nelson, but a foul call.
And I don't know about that one. Scoreboard.
Well, they've got to control tempo. They've got to make sure they get shots. The shots that they want, not the shots that Alabama wants them to have.
They'll gladly take. This young man being projected in the second half of the first round in this summer's NBA draft. Should he choose to enter as Woodson comes back.
Last year, Auburn just playing with so much more confidence offensively and not overthinking the game.
Trimble takes a rebound, but it wouldn't fall.
Bamba turned away. Bamba gets it back from Evans. Bamba drives, misses. And Sears out of the pack.
Begin to enjoy and thrive on the defensive end.
Copeland got by Nelson momentarily. Nelson with his third board. Well, that
by 7. Kobe Julian back on the floor, leading scorer against Nelson. Leaves it short. Nelson with a rebound.
Florida comes out of there with it. One thing Alabama cannot afford to do, Dave, is turn the ball over. They need to get a shot every time down.
Richards three, not close. Missed the shot, couldn't tip it. Klobuchar out of there with it for the Gators.
Klobuchar can really shoot it.
Missed the pull-up three.
Good pressure on
paint, in and out, rebounded by Hauk. Richard, Condon got position underneath, and good defense by Nelson.
Great defensive play right there because Stevenson had himself a layup taken away.
Ziegler banged by Nelson. He'll go to the free throw line as he drew the contest.
His offense right there. They want to be so aggressive in the first 10 seconds of every possession.
Oweh all the way denied by Nelson as we take a look at the Kentucky's open and can't get it to go. Oweh gets up and rips it. They got a man ahead. Great pass to Garrison.
They gave up 100 and
Travis Perry in a game that hasn't featured a ton of defense. Williams, the alley-oop. Carr pushed by Nelson. He'll shoot 2.
Carr's had a really
flashes the 3. And he can shoot it. Absolute great career at South Florida. Kennesaw State at first.
Who wants it? Robinson has
by him, blocked it. Richmond with the rebound. Here's Firo ahead. Steps through. And a whistle and a foul on Alabama.
But you have to run when you have the numbers.
Shane Montgomery into the game for the first time. Left it long. And scooped up by
now for Matthews. A lot of physicality under the boards, and Matthews once again with the hustle play.
Riley Kugler left his first shot short. South Florida, and they feel like he is just starting to get that rust off.
Well, this kid was the co-AAC Player of the Year, and he's starting to get into his form, getting his rhythm.
Kugler, 2-on-2. Murphy, watch out!
This has
under a minute to play.
There's the response, but Hubbard is barreling right back down on you.
Murphy pick and roll. His runner goes. The assist goes to Hubbard.
Last couple of games, Coach was hoping he would reappear tonight, and so far he has. Leading the break here on Nelson in traffic. How about the freshman, the redshirt freshman from New Orleans?
Balance and the ability to stop on a dime, the dribble between the legs and get it up on the glass, phenomenal.
It's a foul on Nelson. Well, that is now official. Cut it back to single digits. It is an 8-0 run. Very similar to the late second half run on Saturday.
At the rim. Here comes Ole Miss the other way. Youngblood sprints back in transition D. Padula for 3. Got it! And Ole Miss extends it. Bama has had this season is a 7-point comeback against Houston. Morrell wide open. Strokes home the 3. And Oklahoma with the board. Really good defensive stand by Oklahoma on the first stand.
As Jalen Moore gets the scoring started for Oklahoma. Holloway with the defender on his hip and a skying rebound for Moore. Oklahoma with numbers running. Moore left hand and Godwin tips it in.
Holloway, when he gets a clean look, he's locked and loaded. Able to catch a little bit of a rhythm here.
Crimson Tide high 20 points for Holloway.
They took as many threes as anybody last year. They dominated, won a title. Just, I don't care how we get there. Right. Winning is winning. If that means taking a lot of threes, so be it.
This young man being projected in the second half of the first round in this summer's NBA draft. Should he choose to enter as Woodson comes back? Fifth.
Last year, Auburn just playing with so much more confidence offensively and not overthinking the game.
Great. Trimble gets a rebound, but it wouldn't fall.
Too hot for Amori. Too much spice on that by Holloway. Tracy driving. Tracy, oh, nice finish. A little English on it.
Kind of willed that in. Rice is right at the rim. They're going to be tested against these talented freshmen.
This will be a matchup to watch tonight. Ace Bailey goes strong, so he gets into the act right away. Three-pointer of the year. He had missed his first 18 threes. Finally hits. Jeremiah Williams misses a mid-range.
That's a whole nother level now.
Devontae misses from the corner. And it's good.
Also like the fact that if he hits droughts, there's other dudes.
Yakachonis with the kick. And
just hit a three. How about another?
Murray, and as he was stumbling out of bounds, gave it away.
Outstanding job of the Cowboys getting back into transition. You'll notice that shot by Brandon.
Crossover, getting to the deck and finishing into traffic. Wow.
Forward to the corner. Julian too strong that time.
Picked off and saved by the Bulldogs. Here comes Banks the other way. Nelson might have got a piece of that one.
That's a possession